And we are live. Good morning, everybody. It's your favorite truck driver in the whole wide world. It is Bitcoin Ben. Here for the morning, what the block is going on in cryptocurrencies and the rest of the world. Folks, we learned over the last few weeks that a large majority, or about 60% of every entity that is purchasing the BlackRock ETF are actually the banks. The banks, the important banks, are actually buying through BlackRock. We all heard of it, and we all were like, wait, so let's see, Bank of America, Citibank, all these other banks are actually buying through BlackRock and getting a bunch of Bitcoin. Now, why are they doing that? It isn't to diversify, my friends. You have to think like a bank. You have to think like a globalist. You have to think like a transitioner. You have to think. All right, remember, I told you guys yesterday, and I showed you guys and explained it yesterday, why and how the Bitcoin is the great transition tool. You have to understand there are quadrillions of US dollars out there. Quadrillions. How do you roll all of that purchasing power into the next system? They did it in 1934, 1932. Whenever the central bank, the federal government, took all the gold. Folks, they're just doing it again, except through a corporation and not through a government. They understand the future is not government. The future is AI, artificial intelligence. Did anyone happen to notice the new large high-rise in El Salvador? Do you know what company it is? It's Google. Google now has a high-rise. In fact, I think it's the largest high-rise in El Salvador. Folks, don't listen to what they tell you. Watch what they do. No. Nash, that should not frighten you. Remember, a corporation is just a group of humans. That's it. You replace the humans and you change the company. See, Google is not a bad company. The people that run Google are bad people. It's just like a drunk driver, right? A Honda is not a bad car, but a Honda with a drunk driver, that's a bad problem. It isn't the car, right? It's the driver. It isn't the corporation. It's the driver. It isn't the government. It's the driver. This is the big transition, folks. This is the number 17. Don't leave out number 17. Those who know what I'm talking about. See, we have a tremendous technological infrastructure across the globe. We are more technologically advanced than we've ever been before. We have more useful software, hardware, and robotics than ever before. But we have the wrong people leading those corporations. Now, remember a few years ago when we hated Twitter? What happened? What happened with Twitter? It got taken over. Now do you hate Twitter? Now do you hate X? No. Why? One guy walked in with a sink. Let that sink in. That, by the way, was a great joke. Folks, the people who work at the Bank of America, they're not bad people. The leadership of the Bank of America, the board of directors, some of them are bad people. You have to look at who controls the tools, not the tools. It's just like a gun. It isn't about the gun. It's who holds the gun. See, my friends, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. This is why we are doing what we are doing. This is why we're launching clubs. This is why we are launching clubs as fast as we can. Because remember what I've always told you. You do what the wealthy people are doing, not what they're saying. Don't listen to the bankers. Don't listen to JP Morgan. Don't listen to any of them. Watch what they're doing. remember what Jamie Dimon said? Oh, this Bitcoin, I'm tired of talking about Bitcoin. Why are we talking about Bitcoin? I don't like Bitcoin. The following week, who does BlackRock say is one of their major clients for Bitcoin ETFs? JP Morgan. Jamie Dimon. Folks, the reason that we're in this situation is we listened to what the bankers said, not what they did. We thought they were honest. What makes them crooked is their lying. For some reason, people cannot look at Jamie Dimon and just go, he's lying. He's lying. They assume he's telling the truth. They assume he's being honest. No. Folks, it's like Washington, D.C. Think about it. For the last 45, 50 years, we've elected a Democrat. We got crapped on. We elected a Republican. We got crapped on. Then we elected a Democrat. We got crapped on. We elected a Republican. We got crapped on. What we didn't realize is that the Republicans and the Democrats are just the San Francisco 49ers and the Miami Dolphins. They all are part of the NFL. Who wins every football game? The owners. That's who wins every football game. The NFL. And who is the NFL? It's the group of the owners. Who wins every election for the last 50 years except for Trump's? The owners, the banks, the liars, the Federal Reserve, the government, the swamp. See, the swamp is just the office of the NFL. The owners tell the office what to do. And then the owners hire the coaches, the presidents. And then the presidents, the coaches, run the plays. At the end of the day, the NFL doesn't give a flying fiddle who won the game. It's how many tickets were sold, how many people watched the game, how many people enjoyed the show. Because it's all just a show. See, the reason I don't really watch football anymore is because they've changed the rules. It is no longer the football I used to play. The football I used to play was a more honest, natural, real game. Now, you can't hit the quarterback. Let's equate. Now, you can't ask the swamp questions. They changed the rules of the football game, just like the government has changed the rules of America. That's when I quit watching the football game, because it wasn't genuine anymore. It wasn't a real show of the talent of the players. It was the rules governing the players. Right? If you remember the 70s, the 60s, even the early 80s of football, a lot of it was more running than throwing. Right? The superstars, right? The superstars used to be the running backs, the running quarterbacks. Now what is it? All of the players are so protected. They are protected from the consequences of the game, the elections. The government is protected from the elections. They don't want the consequences of the game. See, a lot of people live their lives just through their perception, not the perspective. Remember a few weeks ago, I described the difference between perception and perspective. A lot of people don't realize what is going on with cryptos and with Bitcoin because they don't have perception. Or no, they don't have perspective. They have perception. They're listening to the liars. They're listening to the mainstream media. They're listening to the bankers. They're listening to the marketing campaign. They're not looking at what the players and the coaches are doing. They don't look at what the NFL owners are doing. They're listening to the propaganda. They're listening to the press conference prior to and after the game. And everyone knows, folks, everyone knows. Have you ever heard an interview of a major league football coach prior to the game? Does he give any specifics? Does he say, all right, we're going to run down the middle, we're going to rely on our tight ends a lot, we're basically going to do a lot of short passes into the middle? No. What does he do? Well, we're going to get out there and we're going to give it our best, folks. We're just going to play as a team. We're really going to put our heads together. We've really been practicing out, playing this game. We just got to play 4 quarters. That's what we got to do. We got to do the best we can for 4 quarters. That's just the marketing campaign of politicians. Now, Trump's given details, not all the details, but details. But he's still just doing the campaign. He can't flat out come out and say, I'm going to rip the federal government into 1 billion pieces. No, he can't say that. Everyone knows he's going to do it. Right? Trump is your Joe Montana. Trump is your Elway. Right? Trump is a threat. Trump is a threat to the game. Trump is a threat to the owners because you know why? Because he's not owned. It's as if one of the owners of a football team was also the quarterback. He knows the inside game, but yet he knows how to play the field too. What's going on right now, folks, is a global transition that very few people see, like in the 1930s, when they collected all the gold. They collected all the gold so they could reset the system. That's why. Now, why is a corporation and all the banks, why are they collecting all the Bitcoin? Why is China now collecting all the Bitcoin through Hong Kong? See, Hong Kong runs China. It isn't the other way around. Hong Kong runs China. The Communist Party in China is only there for population management. Hong Kong is the money center of China. That's the game, folks. That's why they're launching ETFs out of Hong Kong and not out of China, because they don't want the people of China to get Bitcoin. They want the wealthy in China, Hong Kong to get wealthy. They want the Chinese central bank. Yes, Hong Kong was set up by the British Empire. Who do you think runs our government? The progressive movement. The progressives. Who are the progressives? They are the Fabian socialists. And who is the Fabian socialist? The London School of Economics. Who runs the London School of Economics? The British Empire. And who owns the British Empire? Who really owns the British Empire? See, once you know the layout, bingo. Bingo, bingo. The Khazarian Mafia owns the British Empire. Do you know how Great Britain started? Do you know why Rothschild changed his name from what it was to Rothschild? Because Rothschild wanted to purchase the Bank of England. And he did. Who owns the Bank of England? Who owns the British? Who owns Britain? The banks. Who owns the banks? The Khazarian Mafia. Who owns Ukraine? Khazarian Mafia. Who owns Hong Kong? The Khazarian Mafia. Who owns New York? The Khazarian Mafia. See, ever wonder why back in the day, the only mafia you heard about up in New York was the Italian Mafia? No, folks. No. The Khazarian Mafia ran New York. They were the government of New York, the progressives of New York. See, the Khazarian Mafia just went by a different name. The name stealers stole another name. That's why they went after the Italian Mafia. See, if you've ever seen The Gangs of New York, the movie, it was all gangs. There was no government of New York. There were gangs of New York. And the Khazarian Mafia, right? Remember the butcher. The butcher. The butcher was a Khazarian Mafia. They ran the government. Exactly. Exactly. My friends, Jewish Italian mafia wars were brutal. Yes. And as soon as the Caesarian mafia turned into the government, what did they start doing? They started outlawing all of the things that the Italian mafia was doing. See, the gangs, the Caesarian mafia just put on a uniform and called themselves the police. And the Caesarian government hired the Irish mafia to become the police officers in New York. Because, and what did they do? They just gave them a uniform and gave them a badge. They were the protection. They were the law enforcers. Well, what were the laws? The laws were just what the winning mafia wanted to control. They wanted to control alcohol, gambling, prostitution. They wanted to control everything that humans enjoyed doing. Because if you control human pleasure, you control humans. My friends, all of the governments, all of the banks across the globe, or not all of them, a majority of them, are controlled by the Caesarian mafia. Now, the Bitcoin. Folks, the reason that the majority of the companies that are actually purchasing the BlackRock ETF are banks, the reason the majority are banks is because they're recapitalizing the banks with the next monetary unit, the next global currency. What did the Federal Reserve and the federal government do with all of the gold that they stole from the people in the 1930s? They distributed it out to the Federal Reserve all over the country. What are they doing right now? They are distributing the digital gold out to all of their surrogate banks. See where this is all going, folks? You see why Hong Kong? Because now, and I've told you this before, guys. If you don't believe me, I don't care. I don't need you to believe me to know I'm right. Hong Kong and the other Eastern British-controlled creations, CIA-created creations, North Korea. Why is it we always hear about North Korea dealing in Bitcoin? all them hackers from North Korea taking your Bitcoin. Because North Korea is controlled by Great Britain and MI6 and Mossad. That's why we never won the Korean War. That's why we never won the Vietnam War. That's why Hong Kong was created. Because you had to have the area for the business, South Korea. You had to have the area for the government, the global government, North Korea. That's why Hong Kong is separate from China. Because China was set up to population control. Hong Kong was set up to make money and manage the transition of wealth into, yes, the Silk Road. I'm telling you, folks, they're going to shoot the price of fucking Bitcoin up so quick that none of the little guys are going to be able to get nothing but a couple Satoshis. They'll let you buy it after they've skyrocketed it. Because Hong Kong is going to flood all of that money into Bitcoin. The Middle East, the UAE, is going to flood all of that old petrodollars into Bitcoin. Every set up system by the British and by the progressives is going to go into the Bitcoin. The petrodollar, the Middle East, right? Russia, listen to me, folks. Russia's largest bank just announced that they will be handling exterior transfers of money in Bitcoin. The banks will. That they will be changing contracts from US dollars to Bitcoin. Folks, don't listen to what they say. Watch what they do. So, here's a word from our sponsor. And please, guys, if you don't have a crypto laptop, you're going to want one.
Are you buying and selling cryptos on the same laptop that you're using to browse the internet, read your email, and visit social media sites? If so, you're exposing your cryptos to theft. Whenever you're online, you're at risk of getting hacked and having your identity stolen. How would you feel if someone stole all of your cryptos? What would that do to your finances? Guard your cryptos with a safe and secure laptop from CALIX Solutions. Each laptop is set up just for you and your cryptos, and then we walk you through exactly how it works. Don't risk the security of your cryptos. Order a crypto laptop from CALIX Solutions now to secure your crypto future. Learn more at calixsolutions.io.
Once again, Nash is right. It's up to us, gang, to help normal folks. Time to strap up. That's why Nash and his beautiful bride, they run the club up in Nashville. Folks, these clubs are not just clubs. They are financial churches that you can come to. And so is our website. Our website is an education center. Now, if you've liked what you've heard this whole episode and you want to know more about what's going on in more detail, join the private server. Point your phone at the QR code and join the private server and watch the last 6 episodes on the private server. You think you have a clear view now? Watch those 6 episodes and you will legally change your name to Satoshi Nakamoto. Now, if you have your phone handy, scan that code. It will take you right to the private server and join the private server and watch the 6 episodes. I have a link under my video for my private server. Those watching on YouTube, you can join the private server through YouTube. Just click join, then choose the private server option and join. Over on Rumble, YouTube, you can join Rumble Locals, but make sure you choose the private server level. And you'll get every video I do. And you'll get the last 6, which are the important ones, to really see where this is all going. Folks, please like and subscribe to the channel you're watching right now. And I highly recommend joining the private server. Everyone, have a great day and get your Liberty laptop and your crypto laptop. It's not much longer till they shut off the internet, at least as you guys know it. Those of us with Liberty laptops, we be fine. Love you guys. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.